Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to a special Friday live crochet along. And holy cow, we are a couple days away from Christmas. So if you are finishing up your last minute gifts, welcome. I'm glad for the company. And if you're looking for a last minute idea to bring with you, if you're going visiting this holiday season, we're going to revisit our little dish soap apron dress. This ties to a bottle of dish soap and sits next to the kitchen sink, and it's just the quirkiest vintage kitschy thing. I just love it. We've got a tutorial for this. It's linked in the description box, and I'm going to make one in Christmas colors today. So that's what we're up to. I'm also going to change the little heart that's on the apron. I think I'm going to make it a star because I have an equally small little star pattern. So I think that's the plan. For today, I use this. This sits on my bottle. I think these are cute. They kind of mask the soap bottle, and I just think they're so funny because it looks like there's a little someone like standing next to the kitchen sink, ready to like get cleaning. Anyway, these are super cute. They're super quirky. They make everybody kind of giggle. And if you're bringing something to someone's house for the holidays, or even if you're having guests in, once again, it's one of those neat ways that you can add a little Christmassy decor to the kitchen, but you're not really taking space away from an important area where you need to prep food. You don't have to worry about pretty Christmas ornaments dropping sparkle or plastic or who knows what into your food. So it's just a nice way to add some decor to the kitchen, and it'll make you kind of smirk every time you look at it. So great for you, great for a gift, and that's what we're up to today. So I've assembled my cotton yarns. Remember, I still had some left over from our little the pot holder we made a couple days ago, so I'm probably going to end up using up what's left here. And I brought my peppermint back because I really like this, so this might form the majority of my little apron dress. It's a 4.5 millimeter hook, or a size 7, along with your regular size 4 cotton. So a size 7 hook, 4.5 millimeter, pair of scissors, yarn needle. You might need a stitch marker. These are the usual things, so nothing extra special necessary for today. And the pattern is in our shop. We do have a pattern for this. You'll find it up top in the featured section if you pop into our shop and want to pick it up. And it's today's sneaky sale. So big thank you to everybody who's picked it up already. And if you want it, it's there. It's got lots of photographs in it. And we did this back in 2020. Can you believe this was a 2020 pattern, Mr. InStitches?
Good morning, everyone. 2020, it actually feels even further back than that.
Does it feel further away than that for you? 2020, yeah.
Did you look at the date?
It's a 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Crazy, eh?
Well, I mean, if it was the beginning of 2020, it would be almost 4 years. So yeah, wow.
I know, right? Jeez. I've got a nice hot apple cider this morning, a little less sugary than yesterday's eggnog. So cheers, everybody. Nice and hot. Ooh, that feels good. And yeah, if anybody's got questions about today's pattern, please feel free to sing them out in the live chat as we go. Mr. InStitches is here keeping an eye on things. Oh, and just before we get started, a reminder, if you didn't see the post this morning, our website is back up and running. Mr. InStitches prevailed over the squirrels, and he's got the site back up and running, and we have posted not 1, but 2 free patterns from yesterday's live crochet along. So the little sheep and the frog patterns we did yesterday, I've written them up, and we've got them posted on the website on the pattern workshop page. So if you have a moment at some point today, please feel free to pop over to the website and avail yourself of the free patterns that we've got there. That's a big happy holiday, Merry Christmas. Thank you for a wonderful 2023 to everybody. So those are both free for you. And I also went and I added chapters to yesterday's live crochet along. So if you come back to yesterday's live crochet along and you are looking for a specific part, like the way we built the bodies or the heads or how we added the legs or something, it's all chaptered there. So all you have to do is kind of wand or tap on the video player itself, and you'll see all the little chapters on that red status bar, and they're all labeled for you. Okay, let's get started. We are going to begin with the bib. So we start up here, this little coral bib area. We start with that. Then we turn and we add some ruffles to either side of the bib. Then we build the skirt off the bottom of the bib, and then we give it a little sort of bordering edge that includes the ties. And if you want, you can add a little applique. This has been through the ringer since 2020. So I've been using this one myself. It kind of gets tossed into the washing machine every so often. So this is what it looks like being in regular use, getting regularly washed since we made it back in 2020. So that gives you an idea of how well it holds up. And I'm going to leave that on screen while I work so you can sort of see where we're at, because I'm going to keep kind of pointing to certain parts of the pattern as we go. I think that I'm going to end up doing the skirt in the, I'm probably going to end up doing the skirt in the peppermint because I have the most of it. So I think I might make the bib in green and then possibly switch to red for a few other things. I do have a lot of red though. Maybe I'll just go, no, I think I like this. You know what? It's a real scrappy project. So I'm just going to start with the green because the green has my attention. So I'm just going to stick with the green. So here we go. We are starting with the bib, and we are actually starting down here. So this is where we start. We build the bib up, and then we add that little neck loop that you can actually put over the neck of the bottle. So I'm going to use my green. I'm going to start with the green. That's what the bib is going to be on my little Christmas apron here. We're going to start with a slip knot, nice and simple. We're going to chain 9. And we are going to skip the first chain from the hook and single crochet into each of the next chains. So we will have 8 single crochet all the way across. And I'd like to take a moment to welcome Barbara, who joined our family this morning. Welcome, Barbara. Thank you for joining. And welcome to everybody who's new. Welcome back to everybody who's returning. And thank you everyone for being here today. So that is the end of row 1. That is 8 single crochet. So a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Remember, you're always going to skip your turning chain when you're using the single crochet stitch. So we're chain 1 to turn, but we ignore the chain 1. And for rows 2 through 8, we are going to single crochet in each stitch all the way across. There'll always be 8 stitches in each row. We're going to chain 1 and turn at the end of each row. And we're going to have 8 rows in total of single crochet, each row with 8 stitches in it. So 8 by 8. That last stitch of the row, don't miss it. Sometimes it wants to curl itself down the edge a little bit. Chain 1, turn, single crochet in each stitch all the way across, and off we go. I'm willing to bet today is a busy day for many of you. So if you are popping in and out, feel free. Don't worry, you're not gonna miss anything forever. We will always make sure that this live stream is back up. And like I said, the original tutorial is linked down below. So if you need to pop back to grab that as a reference, it'll be there for you. So feel free to come and go as you need to today. I know it's such a busy time of year. I'm just so grateful that you're able to spend some time with us. I also like the opportunity at this time of year. Now this is a little quiet kind of on the side thing. I like assembling yarns that I've used throughout the year, and I like looking for little cute, quick gift projects or little ornament projects that I can use up what's left of those balls of yarn, so that at some point between Christmas and New Year's I can make an inventory of all my yarn and just sort of see where I'm at, see if there's anything I need, you know, see if there's anything that I used an awful lot of. I don't particularly want to have a ton of little bits and pieces left. I wind up with lots. I've got a couple of bags of just sort of scrap ends of skeins that are too small to really put back on the shelf, but too big to kind of consider, you know, putting in the stuffing bin. So I end up with all of these things, and then of course I forget that I have them and I don't end up using them. So I like to be able to dive into that super small stash of yarn and use it up, or find projects where I can finish off pretty balls of yarn that I started throughout the year. Oh, goodness gracious. Ronald and Kathy Jones, cousins, are in the house. Good morning, guys. Ronald and Kathy say, good morning and Merry Christmas to you both. We enjoy watching you always. I'm proud to be family. Love, Kathy and Ron. Thank you both so much. Merry Christmas, Kathy and Ron. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the super generous super chat. It is it's just so nice to be able to spend time with you all. It's so nice to have you all here. I know it's usually the day that we have a video planned for you, but this close to Christmas, we thought we would do one more thing live. So hopefully we'll all get a kick out of today's live stream. I think I've got 8. I've realized I should probably pause and count. Row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at that. I went over. This is how quickly, if you're not paying attention. Okay, so let me recheck that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, that is 8 rows. I went over. I still have some green left. This is great. I might actually wind up being able to use it further down. Kimberly! Hi, Kim! Kimberly with a super sticker. Thank you so much. Great big heart. And one big heart back to you too, Kim. Thank you.
It's the coffee cup.
I see a heart.
You see a heart?
Oh, maybe it's got to move on me.
Cup.
Is it the coffee cup? Oh, it's the coffee cup. Thank you, Kim. And thank you, Joyce, for picking up a pattern in our shop. Thank you, thank you. Cheers, everyone. Still nice and hot. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. We need to add a neck strap now. So we finished this part, this coral part. The bib is finished. Now we want to add the little neck strap. So here we go. Right from the end of row 8, we're going to chain 12.
Got a pole coming in for you.
Once you've chained 12, you're going to slip stitch back into the first stitch of that row. So you chain 12 and slip stitch into the first stitch of the row, and there's your little apron neck holder. And now you can fasten off and weave in ends, because we're going to add the little ruffle. If you don't want to fasten off and you want to continue using the same color, then don't fasten off, just chain 2 and hang on. But if you want to change colors like me, this is where you fasten off and just weave in your tails. Incoming poll, is your sink full of dirty dishes? No, 62%. Yes, 37%. Well, we are in the 37%. I haven't yet done the dishes this morning. I'll be getting to those after today's live stream. Congratulations to those of you, though, who do not have a dish sink or a sink full of dishes. I have going to have myself a new Christmas apron for my dish soap to watch over that sink. So I'm going to weave in my little tails. There we go. That's one. It is another very windy day here today, so if we suddenly disappear, then I'm going to blame the wind, and actually not the squirrels today, because the squirrels have been fed. They shouldn't be a problem, but it is windy, so hopefully we'll be fine. We were yesterday. All right, so that's the back. This is the front. So here is the bib and the little apron strap now. So we've done this part, and now we're going to start doing the little ruffles. I'm going to switch to, will I switch to red? Will I switch to peppermint? Red or peppermint? The ruffle will also be, so I kind of continue into the dress with the ruffle color. So whatever color I do the ruffle, I continue down to make the dress. And I'm thinking, I can't, you know what? I think I'm going to go with the peppermint. I really liked the way it looked yesterday, so peppermint it is. All right, if you chained two, that's fine, and it doesn't matter which sort of side you're on. We're all going to be working down a side and then working across the other side. So what you want to do is join your yarn, if you're changing colors, in the same stitch as the fastened off. So wherever we slip stitched, it looks like it was right here. We're going to, let me just turn my work so I'm looking at it the right way. Join your new color with a slip stitch in the same stitch where you just joined your strap and fastened off. If you're not changing color, you probably chained two and you're ready to go. If you just change color like me, chain two. And now we should all be in the same place. So we are chain two out of the stitch that we just left. Vicky loves crafting with a mug of coffee that says, tried or tired? Tired. Oh, Vicky. That is a good emoji for this time of year. Thank you so much for the super sticker and cheers. Victor asks if we give the squirrels Christmas gifts. Yes, we do. We buy extra special nuts for them and I bring them out some on Christmas. Okay, into the same place that we just chained two out of, we are going to work two half double crochet. So I'm going to work over top of my short tail. We're going to work two half double crochet into that same stitch. We're looking at the side now of our little bib. And into each of the remaining row edges, and there'll be 7 of them, you're going to work 3 half double crochet. So you can work right into the stitch, right around the stitch, whatever you find easiest. 3 half double crochet in the edge of each row. You'll have 32 stitches all the way down by the time you get to the last row edge. So I've still got a little bit of tail I'm working over. Finding the edge of the row, I'm working right around that last stitch in the row because why not? 3 half double crochet per row edge, and that's going to give us a cute little ruffle. Oh my goodness. Christine, thank you so much for picking up a pattern.
We have a couple of supers that popped up too.
Let me catch up. Let me catch up. Pause. Fairy Queen, Danny Mom. Hello. Fairy Queen's been a member for 4 months. She says, today is my 50th birthday. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Colt and I would like to wish all of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I second that. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. And Destiny, swooping in like a gifting ninja, gifts a membership. Thank you so much, Destiny. And Jalisa has won it. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. Let me just finish another half double crochet and I will take a sip of my apple cider. Cheers, everybody. And sometimes I work right around the stitch. Sometimes I just kind of work through the stitch that might be sitting at the end. Doesn't really matter. It's whatever my fancy is. And I'm working 3 half double crochet into each row edge so that I can get a little ruffle going. And there's the last one. Into the edge of what was row 1. Now, if it looks kind of like it's fanned out, that's because you haven't turned it into its ruffle yet. So you just sort of squeeze it together and it will ruffle up on you. There you go. So that your bib still lays flat, but now you have a little ruffle at the side. So that was side 1 of the bib. We are now going to single crochet across the bottom. So this is the foundation chain row. There's 8 stitches in row 1. We're going to do 8 single crochet across. So you're going to single crochet now into what was the bottom of the first stitch, or the first chain of the foundation chain. Single crochet in each of those foundation chains all the way across. You'll have 8 of them. There's number 8. So you've got a single crochet in each of those foundation chains underneath each stitch from row 1. Thank you, Lori. Thank you so much for picking up a pattern. And then we are going to continue going up the other side with the ruffle. So from right where you are, chain 2, half double crochet into the bottom of the row 1 edge. So not the side of the stitch you just made, and not the foundation chain, the edge of row 1. So 2 half double crochet over here, and don't worry about that funny little gap. That is going to get fixed later on when we're working the final border around the skirt. And then it's just 3 half double crochet in each row edge all the way back up the other side to match the side opposite. And if you work in an extra stitch here or there, that's perfectly fine. All it's going to do is just add to the amount of rufflage. Rufflage? Ruffling? Ruffle? Can I use the word rufflage? I like the way that sounds. Marie, thank you so much for picking up a pattern, Marie. I'm just working the last 3 half double crochet into the edge of what was row 8 of my little bib, and then you can fasten off and weave in your tails, and that's the top part of our little apron made. So I'm just going to fasten that off. I'm going to weave it in underneath the same stitches that I just made. And then I will ruffle up the edge. Hi, Cherry. I love this pattern too. It's hilarious. There's something about its kitschy vintage feel. It really looks like something that, you know, you'd see in the 1950s or the 1960s. I just love this. I know that if my great grandmothers are watching, they would both be they would be very amused by it. They'd probably think I had something like that. Hello, Cheryl. Cheryl with a membership milestone. Cheryl has been a member for 15 months. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl says, made the gingerbread man candy cane holders for my daughter's friends and they loved them. Oh, that's fantastic. Merry Christmas to you both and all the InStitches family. I second that. Thank you, Cheryl. Oh, I'm so glad to hear they were such a hit. They're so cute. I mean, come on. All right, there we go. One ruffled edge. So there's our little apron top. So you can sort of see where we're at now. We started with the bib, added the little apron necklace, or the neckline there, that's the neck strap. And then we created the little ruffles by working all the way down, across, and up the other 3. You can completely change it and go back to, say, the green, or maybe you want to continue with the peppermint, change to the red. I think am I going to switch to the red now? No, I think I'm going to, what do you guys think? Should I switch to the red or should I stick with the peppermint for the skirt? That'll be that'll be this part here, this white part of the skirt. Caroline, Carleen, hello, thank you so much. Carleen with a very generous super chat. She says, happy holidays. Happy holidays, Carleen. Thank you so much.
I think I vote for the red.
The red? I'm seeing peppermint, peppermint, red, 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 peppermint, peppermint, red, 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 peppermint, peppermint. Gee, it's really kind of cut down the middle, isn't it?
Ooh, poll time. We're going to have to do a proper poll.
You want to do a proper poll, or shall I just jump in with the red? I think, yeah, because Miss Jersey says I could do peppermint around the edge again. I absolutely could.
I like the idea of the red, the solid red.
Yeah, all right.
And
so
maybe, I don't know.
It's this part of the skirt.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do red. Let's do red.
All right, Mr. InStitches wins one again.
I went with peppermint the last time. I'll go with red this time.
I'm on fire this year.
You are, you're winning far too many here, I think. Shell mentioned that she was agreeing with you the other day far more than she thought was appropriate.
Oh, okay. So I'm winning you over, eh, Shell?
All right. Here we go. To work the skirt, we are going to be doing some very gentle increasing with each row. We'll be working back and forth. So we're going to take our yarn. We're going to start with a slip knot and join with a slip stitch in the first single crochet along the bottom of the bib. So we flip it upside down and we go to what was the first single crochet. So you've got your 3 half double crochets, 1, 2, 3, at the bottom of row 1, or I should say, yeah, bottom of row 1 of the side. What you want is the first single crochet you made. You're going to join your yarn with a slip stitch in that first single crochet. We're going to be using the double crochet stitch, so we're going to chain 2. We're using chain 2s as the turning just to keep those edges a little kind of tighter. We're going to double crochet in the same stitch that we joined in. So double crochet now, taller stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to work a little simple repeating pattern all the way across. 2 double crochet into the next stitch, and a double crochet into the stitch after that. So it's 2, 1, 2, 1, all the way across. Hi, Shell. Shell with the membership milestone. Shell's been a member for 61 months. Thank you, Shell. Shell says, hi, Jayda and Mr. Huge thank you for everything in 2023. Well, thank you for being a part of it, Shell. What a fabulous crochet year. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. I second that. Thank you.
We have a question from Penelope. Do you prefer to increase at edges or in the middle? Is there a rule of thumb for that?
In the edges or in the middle? Oh, it depends. It depends on the shape you're going for. So, for example, for one of the patterns we just recently did, it was the angel and the gingerbread man and the snowman and the reindeer, those candy cane patterns. We were creating kind of a little A shape in a very small spot. So I was adding the increases to the edge to get a real triangular shape going. But in today's case, we're going to be doing even increases all the way across because we actually want to increase a little bit more than just 2 stitches per row. So all of the increasing will be kind of evenly distributed across the entire row. So for example, for row 1 of the little skirt, we chained 2 to begin the row and double crocheted into the same place. Double crocheted once into the next stitch and then repeated 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 all the way across. So where we had 8 stitches at the bottom of our bib, we now have 12 double crochet stitches because we're including that chain 2 as a double crochet stitch. We've got 12 stitches now all the way across the bottom of our bib. So we are going to be gradually increasing the skirt, and because we want to add more than just 2 stitches of increase per row, we are spreading the increases out evenly across each row. Great question. And a little sip of my apple cider.
Someone was asking earlier the hook size.
It's a size 7, a 4.5 millimeter. So a little tighter than say the usual 5.5 millimeter I like to use with a size 4 medium weight cotton because we want it to be a little denser, just a little tighter than normal. All right, row 2 of our skirt. We are going to chain 2 and turn. The chain 2 does count as a double crochet. We're going to double crochet into the same stitch that we just chained 2 away from. So chain 2, double crochet into the same stitch, the first stitch of the row. Then we're going to double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. So this kind of increased pattern will look familiar. And then we start the little increasing all over again. 2 double crochet into the next stitch. And double crochet once into each of the next 2. So it's 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, all the way across. And as you're finishing that row, you're going to work 2 double crochet into the third last stitch, double crochet into the second last stitch, which is the last double crochet from the previous row, and double crochet into the top of the chain 2. So don't forget, we're treating the chain 2 as a stitch, grab the top of it and double crochet. And we're going to have gone from 12 stitches in row 1 of the skirt to 16 stitches at the end of row 2. And if you lay it flat, you're going to see that your little skirt is starting to kind of fan out. Hi, Cherry! Cherry with a super chat. Thank you so much, Cherry. Cherry says, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thanks for all your tips and videos over the years. Love you guys. Kathy, by the way. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much for being a part of it all. This has been, we're kind of entering our 10th year. So we kind of have transitioned into our 10th year of all this.
Actually, we are entering our 11th
We're
year.
entering our 11th, but it will
completed our 10th year.
We're kind of completing the 10th year, but as far as of what the numbers and everything you see on YouTube, it's going to look like we've you know, hit the giant decade mark, but we've actually been at this for we're entering into our 11th year. And it's kind of hard to believe. On YouTube, yeah.
How far back do you want to go? Our first website?
Yeah, our first website
2007.
And we had an Etsy shop back then.
Etsy shop 2007.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been at this for quite a while. Anyway, that was row 2. That is 16 stitches in total. We're going to chain 2, turn. We are still continuing to increase our little skirt. So for row 3, we're going to double crochet in the same stitch as the chain 2. And now we're going to double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And the new repeat pattern is 2 double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. I'm sorry, each of the next 3 stitches. 2, 1, 1, 1. 2, 1, 1, 1. So 2 double crochet, 1, 2, and then a double crochet into each of the next 3. And that will bring us up to a total of 20 stitches all the way across, because we are doing 4 even increases across each row. Welcome, welcome if you're just joining us. The row ends with 2 double crochet in the 4th last stitch, double crochet into the next and the next, and the last double crochet is in the top of the chain 2, so don't forget it. And you've got 20 stitches at the end of row 3. Row 4, we've got another row of double crochet increasing. We're going to chain 2, turn, double crochet into the same stitch, and now double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. Double crochet into the next stitch, and a double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. That is the little pattern all the way across. And we'll be up to 24 stitches at the end of row 4. Two double crochet, double crochet into each of the next 4 stitches, two double crochet, and double crochet into each of the last 4 stitches, remembering that the very last stitch will be in the top of what was the chain 2 from the previous row. And we've got quite the little skirt going here. All right, 24 double crochet stitches, including the chain 2 at the end of row 4. For row 5, we're going to chain 2, turn, and we are just going to double crochet in each stitch all the way across. So no increasing for row 5. You can skip over that first stitch because the chain 2 counts as a double crochet into the next stitch, and double crochet in each stitch across. That'll be 24 stitches as well for row 5. And that'll be the little skirt finished, and then we will put on a little border. So Melissa, it is RA. Well, that stinks. I know exactly how you feel. I really hope that everything goes into, they call it remission. I don't know why they bother to call it that. It never actually leaves, but I hope all the swelling and pain kind of just fades away for a while, and you feel better and you can crochet again soon, because I know exactly what that's like. 2017 was a very rough year for me. I couldn't even walk. I had to wear running shoes around the house because every footfall hurt every single joint in my body. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't hold a mug. I couldn't get dressed. I couldn't do anything. It was terrible. But luckily, everything seems to be somewhat under control. So I really hope that happens for you, and happens really quickly too. The last stitch of row 5 is in the top of the chain 2. We'll have 24 stitches at the end of row 5. And what a cute little dress we've got. Okay, fastening off now. Weave in your end, and we're going to put a little bit of a border on the skirt. Still got a handful of things here to do. I'm going to weave this tail in. I know a lot of us are suffering from things, so I just want to take a moment and tell all of you that you're not alone. Whatever it is that you might be putting up with, going through, struggling with, you're not alone. Everybody seems to be dealing with something, and if not directly, then they know somebody who is going through something. So as awful and as isolated as you feel when you are going through something, or you're watching someone you love go through it, you are not alone. I know it feels that way, but you're not. So this is why communities like ours here on the internet, where we come together and we do something really sweet and creative, and we hang out and we cheer each other on, and we make something fun that we then often turn around and give to someone else. This is why it is such a positive, wonderful thing. I think the internet is one of the best things about the internet is that it's brought like-minded, wonderful people together, and we have a chance to do stuff like this. I think this is wonderful. I love sitting here with you all. I love knowing that you're all out there, and I just want you to know that you're not alone. You're not. You're never alone. So big, deep breath. That's what a friend of mine used to say, suck back and reload. Take a big breath, put a great big smile on your face, and just square your shoulders, and off we go, straight ahead. This is coming together very, very cutely. Okay, shall I do the little border? The next thing we're doing is adding the little border edge around the around the skirt and putting on the ties. Now normally I would do that to match the bib, but I'm not entirely sure I have enough green left to do that with. I don't even think I've got enough white to do that with. Do you think it would look weird if I just started with one and finished with the other? That might be kind of cute. Otherwise, I continue with the peppermint, and the peppermint ruffle looks like it continues all the way down around the skirt and creates the ties. What do you guys think? Peppermint, 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 peppermint.
I vote for the green and white.
So you like the green and white, and I'm seeing a lot of peppermints here.
Don't listen to them. I think YouTube is glitching right now.
Looks like peppermint.
Everyone in the chat is saying red and green and white. It's just coming through glitch.
You are a bum. That's what you are.
Definitely green and white, green and white, green and white.
Tell you what, sweetheart,
Yeah.
I'll let you
It's
pick.
all green and white.
I'll let you pick
no
green.
one is saying peppermint at all. Not one peppermint.
Mm-hmm. My favorite troll. I'll let you pick whether we go with green or white for the little star I want to put on the bottom of the skirt. So you can think about that. It looks like peppermint won overwhelmingly, so I'm gonna go with peppermint.
But then if you use peppermint, you're gonna lose the what's it called? The ruffle. You're gonna lose the ruffle's not gonna stand out anymore.
The ruffle's gonna look like it's part of the border.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that means it's gonna disappear.
All right. Well, hey, it's a democratic crochet club.
It
so
absolutely is. So
we're going full democracy here.
we're going to go with peppermint. I think it'll look okay. All right. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. Now we are joining over here. So you see where we turned. This is that little thing I was talking about earlier, where we finished our row of single crochet across the bottom of the bib. So I did this, and then right where we were, we chained 2, and then we started the double crochets in the edge of the row above it. And I said, don't worry about this gap, it's going to disappear. Here's why. Because we are going to slip stitch into the top of the first single crochet of the ruffle edge. So into this stitch, the same single crochet, it's sort of like, it's like above it of row 1, where we're just a bit above where this little chain 2 comes out of. We're going to actually start here. We're going to join with a slip stitch into that space, which is going to kind of help squeeze that chain 2 up against these 2 double or half double crochets here. So we're joining our yarn all the way up there, and then into the edge of each of those 5 rows. Remember, these are chain 2s or double crochets all the way down. There's 5 row edges down the skirt. We're going to work 2 single crochet around each row edge. So if it's a double crochet, you work 2 single crochets around it, and if it's a chain 2, you work 2 single crochets around it. And this is how we start the little border edge around our skirt. And because we joined our yarn all the way up here, it squished that chain 2 up against the other half double crochets, so that little gap will disappear. 2 single crochet around each row edge all the way down the side of the skirt. It's either a double crochet or a chain 2. And there's the last one. So you'll have 10 single crochet worked down the edge. Let me just lay that flat for you. You'll have 10 single crochet, 2 around each row edge all the way down. And of course we're going to do the same thing rowing up the other side. But first we need to rotate the end of the skirt. And we're going to actually use a double crochet stitch, and we're going to increase again. So where we were increasing across the row 3 and then in row 5 we didn't, for this row we are going to increase a little bit, but we're not continuing with the same increase. We're going to kind of repeat row 4 or row 3 in a way, but I'll explain that in a second. Let's chain 2 right where we are. And we're going to double crochet into the same place. So right into the top of that stitch there. So chain 2 and double crochet. Then we're going to double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So we chained 2, we finished the 2 single crochet, chained 2 directly away from that, and then double crocheted into that first stitch right there. Double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and then we start our little repeat again. 2 double crochet into the next stitch. Double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. So we are back to double crochet, working across the bottom of the skirt, just to elongate it a little bit more. And we're doing a little mild increasing just to kind of keep that fan going. 2 double crochet. And double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. And we're going to repeat that all the way across. This is really going to look like a candy. I think even though we're kind of mixing together all of these little Christmassy colors, it's really going to look like a candy. I like it. And the little repeater working across the bottom of that skirt ends with 2 double crochet in the 4th last stitch and double crochet into the remaining 3 stitches, remembering that the top of the chain 2 from the previous row is where you put your last double crochet. There we go. And that'll be 30 double crochets, including the chain 2 over here, all the way across the bottom. A new member? Have I missed it? How come I can't see it?
I don't know. Maybe there's a delay on your screen?
What? What?
Well, we have a new member. Big welcome to Targia.
Targia! Welcome! Welcome to the family. Thanks for joining. I don't know why I couldn't see that. There it is. Now it's loaded.
Oh, it's just a bit delayed on your side.
A little bit delayed, I guess. Okay. We are going to chain 2, and we're going to single crochet into the same stitch as the last stitch. So this just kind of puts us back at the edge of the edge where we were kind of, just so we can continue our little single crochet pattern all the way up the other side. So we're going to single crochet into the edge of the first row, which was row 5 of the skirt. So that kind of completes our little 2 single crochets at the bottom. And then you're going to single crochet into each row edge, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4 more rows up the side. So we double crocheted all the way across the bottom, adding a little bit of an increase. And now we are doing 2 single crochet in each row edge back up the side so it matches the other side of the skirt. So that's 2 single crochet into the edge of the skirt running up the other side, and then you want to slip stitch into sort of where we started over here, which was kind of underneath the single crochets running across the bottom of the bib. You want to do the same thing. You kind of want to reach up and into the same place where those single crochet or the single crochets were anchored and slip stitch there. So that kind of just adds a little bit more of a continuation of that color. It anchors your yarn and it kind of squeezes the ends of your little ruffles together. So you can fasten off now and weave in tails. Oh, wait, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just, I can't believe I did that. You know what? It's fine. Don't fasten off. Ah, heck, I'll just tie my knot on. I'm such in the habit of not knotting off. Oh, no, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to use red. I'm going to make the ties in red. Don't fasten off if you don't want to change color. I don't do that in the original pattern, but I've just decided I'm going to do my ties in red. So if you want to change colors for the ties and the little apron, what I call sort of the apron belt, then go ahead and fasten off like I did. We'll call it a happy accident. Actually, should I make the ties? That's this part. So this is what I'm talking about here. It's these little ties and this little belt. Should I make it in red or should I make it in green? Actually, I could do it in white too. What does everybody think? Green, white, or red? Green, white, red. Green, white, green. Green, green, white, white, green. Just weaving in my tail here. Green, 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 white. Oops.
We might need a poll for this one. Golden. We have a gifted membership.
Nicole! Thank you so much, Nicole. Nicole, a gifting ninja, has swooped in with a nifty gift. Thank you so much. And Vivi won it. Congratulations, Vivi. Welcome back to the family. Okay, so talking about the ties. Are we doing green, white, red? Looks like green. Green, 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 green. I'm seeing lots of green.
You see more green?
I see more green. I think I might have enough to do the ties in green. I think I do. So that would make it look like they kind of belong to the bib, which is really cute, as opposed to adding like a little applique in green down here, but the white would look cute down here too. So green ties. I see a lot of greens. Green, 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 green. Okay, green it is.
The poll has been canceled.
The poll has been canceled. All right, I'm going to start with a slip knot. I'm going to join my yarn right where I fastened off. So right in that little spot at the base of where the green ends, I'm going to join my yarn there with a slip stitch. And if you didn't fasten off, fine. To do the apron ties, we're going to chain 31. .31 chains. Ooh, I think I'm going to be cutting it close. And now we want to slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. So skip the first one, slip stitch into the second, and slip stitch into each chain all the way back. So I'm going to try and keep my slip stitching a little on the tight side because I'm playing yarn chicken for real now. If I run out halfway through, I will just finish the ties in white. I actually think that would look kind of cute. Or maybe red, just because I've got white and I want to include that as an applique, because I've made the skirt red, so the only other color I'm going to have left would either be the peppermint again, which I don't think would necessarily look right, or the white. So I think the star is going to be in white. Catherine's asking, would it be easier to do an I cord for the ties? An I cord? Don't you kind of have to, well, you could, the thing is you want it to be as skinny as possible. So like you don't want anything that's like any thicker really than a slip stitch, because you need to be able to tie a knot with it. And if it's much thicker, like it's the thickness of a single crochet, which is roughly I think what the I cord is, which is kind of like that old kind of gimping, the plastic gimp crafting. It's kind of that pattern. I think that's just a little bit too thick and it makes it harder to tie it. You'd have to make them a lot longer. So this is why I kind of opted for the chains and slip stitches. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're just joining us, we're making dish soap aprons in Christmassy colors. And I'm just getting back to the very edge, slip stitching into that last chain, which was the first one I made when I started chaining. And now I'm going to surface chain through each of those 8 stitches across the bottom of the bib. So right across the bottom of the bib, you've got that transition where it goes from the green bib to the little peppermint row of single crochet. I'm going to stick my hook right through the space between the stitches, and I'm going to surface crochet. I'm actually also going to catch that little short tail and weave it in as I go. So what you're doing is you're reaching through the stitches, grabbing the yarn on the other side, and then chaining. So it's a surface chain, kind of a slip stitch surface chain scenario. And I'm doing that through each, sort of in between each set of stitches all the way across. I love surface chaining. I've used that quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. It's nice for decoration. It's also a nice way to kind of motor across an area. I gotta redo that one. I split my yarn. Don't want to do that. There we go. And it's not as easy to see because I've done it across, I've used the same color as I did for the bib, but it basically connects your ties with like what looks like a little belt running across the front. You can sort of see it. I did that with the coral color here, that surface chaining. Then you get to the other side and you chain 31 to make tie number 2. That's 31. Oh my gosh, can I do it? Skip the first chain from the hook, slip stitch into the second chain, slip stitch into each chain all the way back. I'm going to keep things tight. I just might do it. We will see. Oh, I think it's going to be a photo finish. Each of your ties will have 30 chains, or 30 slip stitches, I should say, so it'll be 30 stitches long. And that should be just long enough to tie them together in a knot behind your soap bottle when you've got it sitting on your little soap bottle.
We're all watching intensely in anticipation for this photo finish here.
Oh my gosh.
If I could, I would slow down the video. Can Jayda do it?
Yes, it looks like I'm going to have just enough.
Yarn chicken.
I'm winning at yarn chicken again. Oh, that's Jayda 2, chicken 0 this week alone.
What do you think, everyone? Put your vote in the chat. Will she make it?
I did. I did.
You had plenty to spare.
I had, oh, that's how much I had left.
Oh, come on. You could have made a whole other apron with that.
Mm-hmm. Very funny.
You were just teasing us.
I think, I'm going to slip stitch back into the edge of the skirt. So back into the same place I left. And then I'm going to fasten off. So I'm going to pull that to the back. And I'm going to weave that tail in back and forth. I'm not even going to trim it. I think I'm just going to weave it in and back and forth until it runs out. That is really something. I'm happy that that worked out. Actually, it's pretty tight through here, so maybe I will trim it what I don't need. Woo! I'll get it through a few stitches. Yeah, this is not going to be coming undone anytime soon. All right. Normally I would say weave it back and forth, but I don't think I can get my hook through there, or my needle I should say. It's very tight. So I am trimming it. I take back what I just said. That's going in the little stuffing basket. So here we go. I've got the bib. I've got the little skirt. I've got the little ties on. Oh my gosh, this is so Christmassy. I like to take my ties and sort of like just pull them, maybe like run my thumb and finger over them just to sort of smooth out the chains and the slip stitches. I find that makes things look a lot neater. There we go. And now all that's left to do is add the little pocket. Now this was a little pocket. I literally made it a pocket. I thought it was kind of a nice place to stick a ring if you take your rings off to do the dishes. But I'm just going to treat it like an applique today because this is for the holidays. So I'm going to make a little tiny star applique, which I will stitch on. And I have white left. I am out of green. The red obviously won't show, and the only other option I had was the peppermint. So, oh, it might look cute up here too. Huh. Okay, 2 options.
How about a little bow?
A little bow?
Mm-hmm.
Like here?
Mm-hmm. Right at the waist.
Yeah, I could do that. I was just thinking a little star up here would be cute versus down here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, tell me more.
We have some decisions to make. So if I go with a star up here, I could make it in the peppermint and it would match the little ruffle. If I put the star down here, I think the white would look best. And the bow is a cute idea. I could make a bow out of peppermint too. What's everybody think? I'm going to pause and have a little sip
lurkers.
Of my...
Lunge to the television screen and cast your vote.
Penelope, I would put, if you wear rings and you take your rings off to do the dishes, this little pocket was supposed to be to just tuck your rings in, just so they didn't get lost. White at the bib, bottom, white on the skirt, 2 stars. Do it all, ugly Christmas sweater it up, says Janice. I kind of like that. I do. I almost immediately swell up and then I can't get them off. So I don't wear... Oh, we're buffering. Oh, we're back. We're back. I'm seeing a little bit of everything. So we like the idea of the star. We like the idea of the star. And we like the idea of the bow. You know what? I like Janice's suggestion. We just kind of go ugly Christmas sweater and do all of it. So I'm going to start with the little applique down here. I'm going to use white for that because I have a little bit of that left. I might actually be able to get 2 stars in white out of this, but we shall see. So this is a super small version of a star. It's kind of designed to be like as small as possible. So here we go. I'm going to make a cinch circle. And I'm going to build the little star points right into the cinch circle. Now, if this is difficult for you, you can just, I guess, chain 3, and you'll be working all of your star points back into the first chain you make. Otherwise, I don't really want a space in the middle of my star, so I'm just going to use a tiny little slip circle here. I'm going to chain 3, so I've chained 1 to secure the circle, and now I've chained 2 more. And I'm going to make a little star point. So I'm going to skip the first chain from the hook. I'm going to slip stitch into the second chain. And then I'm going to single crochet into the last chain. I'm going to slip stitch into it's either going to be your chain, the first chain you made, or your cinch circle. And then I'm going to go again, chain 3, skip the first chain, slip stitch into the next chain, single crochet into the last chain, and slip stitch into the circle. Nice and tiny. And you're going to do that 3 more times. Chain 3, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, single crochet into the last chain there, and then slip stitch into the circle. 2 more. And 1 more. Slip stitch back into the circle to anchor your last little star point. I'm going to take that short tail and cinch it up really tightly. And then I'm going to fasten off. So I'm going to leave a tail for sewing. And fastening off. There we go. Making sure that's nice and tight. So 1, 2, 3. There's my little star. A little bigger than I thought. I might be able to make an even tinier one up top. I'm going to try and make an even tinier one up here. So that's the one for down here. I'm going to weave that little short tail in across the back. Oh, Catherine! Thank you so much for picking up a few patterns. Yes, in case I forget to mention it again, our sneaky sale, and we are having one today, is our little apron pattern here that we're working on. And if you do want to pick it up, if you pop into the shop, you'll see it right up top. And I'm just going to weave this little tail in around and around and around across the back, just to get it out of my way. Trim the rest of that. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to position that how I want it on my skirt, and I'm going to stitch it down. Now I like to do that whole surface thing where I grab a loop on the top of a stitch on the skirt or the thing that I'm sewing it to, and then the edge of the piece of the star, a piece of loop of the stitch, and then a piece of the star. And I make sure as I'm working around and around and around, I don't end up with any stitches showing through to the back, which is nice. And I pause every so often to make sure that it's not moving on me and it's still in the position that I like. And then I grab a piece of a stitch down below the edge of the star or whatever the applique is, and then I grab the edge of the applique And I'm not pulling too tightly. This is a pretty small little applique, so I'm probably doing like 1 stitch per side of each like I'm kind of going a stitch on the side, a stitch at the point, a stitch on the side, a stitch in the inner corner, stitch on the side, stitch on the point, stitch on the side, stitch on the inner corner, and that should be enough. Nothing showing through to the back. Looks neat and tidy.
Just coming in to check on your work.
Mm-hmm.
Everything checks out here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good job on that stitch. Well done.
Peeping husband. Still looks pretty good. Still looking pretty neat. I'm just going for neat. Neat, and because these get thrown in the washing machine a lot, I want to make sure that it's on there fairly well, just so I know it won't come off in the wash. All right, one more little leg to go. And this should be the last stitch. There we go. Yeah. And then I'm just going to knot it. It's so funny. Whenever you go to knot it, you always end up kind of with this little extra. I have to massage the knot a bit. There we go, to get it to kind of tighten up. There we go. All right. Then I'm just going to tuck it in underneath a few stitches here on the actual star and then trim any excess because I know that's not going to want to come out. There we go. Maybe a couple more. Just to be sure. If it feels tight, that's a good sign. There we go. Okay. There we go. That is the star on. That is looking very Christmassy. I'm going to try and make a very tiny little star for up here. Not sure how that's going to work out, so let's find out. I'm going to use the white again because I like Mr. InStitches' idea of a bow, and I'm going to make that out of the peppermint because I think that'll look like it matches the little ruffling and then the border. So I'm going to make a peppermint bow for the middle.
Looking good.
I'm going to try and make a little tiny star for up here. Get.
I came to gather my point. You going to swap me away?
Mm-hmm.
You have to swat though.
Okay, let's try and make a very small little star for up here. I'm going to use the same concept, but instead of chaining 3, I'm just going to chain 2 and use slip stitches. So let's go. I'm going to make a little tiny cinch circle. Again, you can make a slip knot and chain 2, and you'll be working the base of all of your star points into the first chain you make. So I'm going to chain 1, that secures my circle. I'm going to chain 2, and here we go. I don't know if this is going to work out, but I have a hunch it'll be tiny. I'm going to just slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and then slip stitch into the cinch circle. Chain 2, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook, and slip stitch into the circle. And do that 3 times more. Chain 2, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. This is super small. Slip stitch into the circle. Chain 2. And 1 more. Catherine! Thank you! Catherine's just picked up a few more patterns. Thank you so much. So I'm cinching this up nice and tight. Yeah, that's cute. That's really, really tiny. Okay, so I'm going to fasten off. Leave a little bit of tail for sewing. I don't need that much. I have just a smidgen of white left. Played chicken with that too. All right, nice and tight. So here's that little star. That's actually pretty cute. It looks like a little star-shaped marshmallow or something. I'm going to weave the little short tail in around the back a couple times. So just get it up and underneath a couple of these stitches, and then I'll trim whatever's left. It's just the little short tail. I just don't want it in my way, that's all. So I'll trim that. There we go. And now I'm going to stitch this little guy right to the center. Oh, this is so cute. Okay, you know what? I really, really like how that star looks, so I think I'm just going to try and pin down the edges, like the points, as opposed to the middle because it's so small. So let's hold it right in the center, and oh, come on. There we go. Did I move it? No. I will grab this. I'm going to grab that little point. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch down the points and then stitch down the inner corner. And that way I don't actually have to stitch along the sides. And I will make sure that I don't pull too tightly. And then grab a point.
Good job.
Oof.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks, sweetie.
Pin down that star. Pin it. It's tricky, isn't it?
It is, because it's very small. And I really like its little shape, and I want to try and make sure that I don't lose the shape of it. Okay. I'm pretty sure that's the last little point. So now I just have to make a knot and get rid of that tail. Yeah, and then of course it doesn't show through to the back, looks tidy. So let's make a small knot, and then I will pull that tail back in underneath the star, and I will trim whatever's left. Go. Tight little knot, and let's pull you through. Very tight. That's good. There. Whew. If you want to add a small star up at the top, you can do what I did, or you might find it a little easier to, if you have a lighter weight cotton and a smaller hook, just make this size star, but with the smaller hook and yarn, and it might be a little easier to do that up top. Or add a little button, maybe a little plastic button or something if you've got it. But I like that. It also kind of stands out in a sort of a 3D sort of way, so that's cute. So I've got one little star down here, I've got one little star up there, and now a little bow, because I like that idea. So I'm going to make a bow with the peppermint. Now I gotta think, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? Well, shall I just, something small and simple. Something small and simple. Don't overthink it. Okay. I'm going to start with a slip knot and my peppermint yarn. I'm going to chain 7. I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and single crochet in each stitch all the way back. So I have 6 single crochet. Chain 1 turn and single crochet in each of those 6 stitches all the way back. And I might do this once more. Hey. No knots. Yeah. Chain 1 turn and single crochet all the way back across those 6 stitches for a 3rd row. So that's what I'm doing. Chain 7, single crochet in the second chain and in each chain back, so you have 6 stitches. Chain 1 turn and single crochet in each stitch for 2 more rows, so you have 3 rows of 6 single crochet each. I think that's enough. Fasten off, leave a longish tail. You probably won't need all of it, but it's better to have maybe like between 10 and 12 inches or 20 and 24 centimeters, somewhere around there. I'm going to weave in the short tail. across the back. Well, hello! Thank you so much for picking up a pattern. I'm not sure who it is. It just says an Apple user. So thank you very much. I'll try and get your name a little later on when I can see more information. If I can. I can't always. So thank you very much. I'm going to trim that little tail. There we go. Okay. So this is what I'm going to make my little bow out of. I'm going to take my long sewing tail, I'm going to thread it up, and I'm going to weave it back through 2.5 stitches. So I've gone through 2 full stitches and half of a third stitch. So under that one loop, across the back, brought my yarn to what is the middle piece. Now, take my yarn needle out for a minute. I'm going to hold it and wrap my yarn around the middle of that piece of crochet, pull it tight, do it a couple more times, pull it tight so that I'm getting a little bow. Couple more times. Yeah, I think that's enough. I'm going to run my yarn needle, if I can, underneath a few of those tight spins of the yarn and just make a little knot on the back. Oh, that's tight. Come here. So making a knot on the back to sort of stop it from wanting to go anywhere. There we go. Pull out my little points. So here's my little bow, and I'm going to sew it right on to the belt. I might just sew right through to the back since I'm using peppermint and there is already peppermint kind of back in the middle here, and I don't think that's going to matter too much. So I'm going to go through and make sure that my bow's in a good spot. I'm going to hop down an entire row on the back, and actually maybe I'll try to come I'm just hopping over top of that little bit of belt. See the surface chaining? I've gone down through a space on the top of the surface chaining belt. And I'm going to bring my yarn back out underneath it. So I'm going to just kind of go over top of that a few times through the same 2 places, pulling tightly as I go so that it sort of lands on the middle, the middle of the bow. And you can't even see that stitch at the back, so that's nice. There we go. And 2 or 3 of those should be sufficient, I would think. I'm going to knot it on the back nice and tight, and then I will weave my tail in. Ooh, I am working tight. This is good. You know what? I'm going to knot it up here. Go. And then I'm just going to weave this tail in underneath the other stitches, which all happen to be peppermint, so that's kind of nice. Back and forth. Hello, Lynette. Lynette with a super sticker. Thank you so much, Lynette. It's your 10th super. Oh my goodness gracious. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happiest of New Year's to everybody. I almost have this. Oh, that's tight. Come on. One more. Sometimes you got to rescue your own stitch work. So if I've pulled that too tightly, there we go. Just pulling back on my little tail a little bit just so I don't cinch it up too tight. I think I can still pull that back a bit. There we go. And I will trim what's left. That is tight, not coming out anytime soon. Ba-ba! All right, what have we got? Here we go, everybody. The Christmas version of our little one in light blue and white. We have one in the coral and white, and I have one in red and white, which I like to pull out for Canada Day. I've been using these now for 3 years. They are holding up quite nicely. They go into the wash and they come out looking just fine. And now I've got a Christmas version. This is so cute. So I added a star down here to the skirt, a super tiny star up here on the front because I liked Janice's idea of just turning it into a going full ugly Christmas sweater. And Mr. InStitches suggested a bow in the middle. I really like that. I think it looks cute. And now when its little ties are done up around the back of the soap bottle, it'll have a bow in the front and a little knot on the back. So there we go. That worked out quite nicely. And I used up my white cotton tail end and my green cotton tail end. So there's a little something I can add to my must get for 2024 list is a little more cotton in white and green. There we go. How do you think I did, everybody? I'm ready to put this right into rotation. I think I'm gonna dress up my soap bottle for Christmas. Oh my gosh. Well, if any of you have any questions about today's project, feel free to leave it in the comment section, either on this live crochet along or the original tutorial. I will include the little directions for the big star, the little star, and the little bow that I made today in the description box. So once I've got everything wrapped up after the live stream, I'm going to add chapters. So if you need to come back and see anything in particular, I'll have chapters available for you, and I'll put the actual pattern notes for these guys in the description box for both. I'll put them in the live cal description box, and I'll put them in the original tutorial description box too. So either place you land, if you're making one of these, that information will be there for you. And I hope you all enjoyed it. What a gigantic pile of things we have made over the last couple of weeks, eh, Mr. InStitches?
Hello. I had to unmute my mic. Yes, we have made many things. We did a lot of lives recently.
Yeah. I might have to make a little recap video. Hey, Roseanne, thank you so much for picking up the pattern. I might have to do a little recap video just to kind of go through everything we've made.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Just so everybody can sort of see it kind of from a different perspective. Sometimes I know some people sort of wonder how big something is, because it's not always easy to tell when it's lying on the craft table in front of me here, especially if my hand isn't next to it. So maybe a little recap video might be a good idea, because we did an awful lot. And it was kind of fun because every single one of these projects was something that you could do inside of an hour or two. So it's kind of a nice way to look at budgeting your time. If you've got some time left between now and the end of the year, I know we don't all see each other for gifts or for parties at the same time. Some of us sort of start our kind of gifting and visiting with family and friends and stuff at the beginning of even the end of November, beginning of December. Some of us go right through the sort of the holiday week right up until the new year, and some of us are also into the new year too. There's New Year's parties as well. I'm just thinking this would look really great in black, white, and yellow cotton for New Year's with the stars. That might be kind of cute. Yeah, so it's fun to kind of look back at all of these live tutorials we've done in the last month and recognize that if you crochet somewhere around the speed that I do, whether you're a little faster or a little slower, about the same, you need basically 2 hours or so to make whatever it is we did in the video. So that's kind of a neat way to budget your time if you're looking for some last minute gift ideas, or you just want to make something for yourself, which I think is a great idea, because you can't forget yourself this time of year. And I like a lot of these little things for just decorating your own little kitchen. It's been kind of fun. Anyway, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic, holiday. If we don't see you before the end of the year, because I think this is our last live stream, for the year, I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. Have a fantastic and safe and crafty and creative and loving and peaceful holiday. Equal that to the new year. And Mr. InStitches and I will be back around the middle of January for the beginning of 2024. I can't believe I'm saying that. The beginning of 2024. Summer! Thank you! Thank you, Summer! Summer has just gifted a membership. Summer sneaking in as a ninja would. And Diana's won it. Congratulations, Diana. Welcome to the family. Thank you, Summer.
So we will not be overly active on YouTube, but we will be available for customer service on Etsy if anyone needs it.
Yes, we will be there. Our website is now back up and running, so please feel free to avail yourself of all of the fun stuff we have going on over at JaydaInStitches.com. The Etsy shop is up and running. Joanna's Crafty Animal Arc. Thank you, Joanna, for gifting a membership as well. And Nat has won it. Congratulations, Nat. Welcome to the family. The members site for Silken Vicunias over on the JaydaInStitches.com. That page is also back up and running. We just posted information to the Silken Vicunias before we went live today. So check the community tab of our channel homepage.
The patterns from yesterday are now available.
We've got brand new patterns, free patterns for everybody over on the pattern workshop page of JaydaInStitches.com. It's the little sheep and the little frog ornaments that we made yesterday. They're there. Please avail yourself of that. That is a big thank you so much, and Merry Christmas to all of you from both of us. And have a tremendously good few weeks. Take some rest. Put your feet up. Get your projects finished. Take care of those whips. Maybe reorganize the craft room. Do a little deep cleaning. I plan on doing some of that. Make some inventory, make some lists about some stuff you might have to pick up when you go to, and clearance sales. I think I might be sneaking out between Christmas and New Year's to check out the craft stores to see what they might have on clearance. You want to do some
Boxing Day shopping.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I'm going to approve that
You can just stay in the car.
You need my approval for Boxing Day shopping.
I love the after Christmas clearance sales of all the Christmas stuff and the Christmas craft stuff. I just might go a little insane this year and see what I can get, because I really do love that. That's kind of fun. So that might be on the docket for me. Anyway, I hope all of you have a wonderful time. We will see you in mid-January. And like Mr. InStitches says, we are in the Etsy shop too. So if you have questions about any of your purchases, don't hesitate to ever contact us there. We do keep an eyeball on the shop. And we'll probably post the odd little community post over the next few weeks just to pop in and say hi here on the channel. But we are going to, like I say, suck back, reload. We've got a lot we have to plan out for 2024. We have several ideas, including the beginning of next year's calendar blanket, but we will tell you more about that in January. So take care, everybody. Mr. Stitches, anything you want to add?
No, I think we covered it all. Everyone have a wonderful, merry, fun Christmas and holidays.
Yes.
And we will see you in 2024.
The very best of 2023 to all of you and your family. And may 2024 be absolutely fantastic for all of us. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you